And we are off to the races, kids. This is one to keep an eye on, as in Alaska we have a large quake and a tsunami warning for parts of Alaska. This is just breaking, and I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we hope you guys are here waiting to see. Oh, there's our KK. Good. She got the memo. She got the memo, and hopefully our other mods will make it here too. Hey, Axlinger. Hello. Yes, I think that's a great idea. Let's all just send our energy to Alaska and to anyone who might be in harm's way, that they make a safe exit from wherever they're at. K-Heads, El Premio, good to see you. Andy Strings, love from Australia. Back to you too. Yeah, KK's, I've been watching the crazy show. We were doing some work on someone. Dana Green, hello to you too. And we got this message from one of our dearest family members to take a look at this, and here we are. There's Courtney, hello. And Yeshua Saves, hello. Great to see you guys. So glad you're in here. Whatever modality you use, let's please put our hands together in prayer for everyone over in Alaska. This looks serious, and it feels big.
And it's the, really, when you look at this again, let's give a recap. So here we go. Tsunami alert for Sand Point, Alaska. Large quake. Anywhere between 7.3 and 7.6. This is a big quake. Alaska gets big quakes, but also it just feels like everything is a little bit heightened, in every way, with the ascension process, geopolitical situation, and the world waking up to things that it never realized were happening. So you have residents of the town being told to evacuate immediately. This is in effect. Let's see if we could play this. Let's see.
To higher ground, move now. Tsunami that within the next 10 minutes, at least around Sand Point. So hopefully everybody in Sand Point has moved to higher ground. If you're in that area, please get to higher ground. Move.
Yeah, this again, very large quake. Here you go. The only good thing is there's not massive population centers around here. 20.1 kilometers depth, 7.3, some sources saying as big as a 7.6. We've been watching a lot of activity that just seemed to give you the idea that something really large could happen. Oh wow, curious. There's a Somerville, South Carolina. Quake 2.2. Well, that's very small in comparison, but that is another area with a major fault that actually has seen, and you got some aftershocks coming in, a quake over 7. So we have aftershocks 4.2, 3.7, 3.5. The newest one is first, so that would make you think it's dissipating, but again, keep an eye, especially when you're talking the potential for tsunami. So when you look at this, right, you could see these arcs kind of to show this affects Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, the U.S., West Coast, of course, the Canadian West Coast, again, all the way down to Latin America, South America, and Indonesia, Philippines, Japan, China, Russia. This potentially could affect a lot, or it might be nothing. I would say that the good news so far, I don't see any buoys, activated. That's good, because typically, you will see buoys that are activated. Hopefully everything is working just fine, because I would be expecting, if it was a tsunami, to start seeing some of these getting triggered.
I know. Yeah, we'll just have to keep a close eye on this. It definitely feels very strange. Hey, Jane is in the house. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Jane, so much for coming here. Isabel, good to see you. Doug, El Primo, Lee. I thought I saw Greg in here. Jed, super awesome. Libby, Miss Dragon, great to see you. Inspire Me, great to see you too. Feel free. Mary D, you guys, thanks for coming in and showing support. So what I was saying in the very beginning, let's send energy and prayer that way, that everybody who might, need to be out of the way is out of the way, and for any energies that might be coming afterwards, because I feel like this could be the tilt of something much bigger. We have to kind of keep an eye on it. That's what I feel. Usually I'm not the one to sound any alarms, but this feels really different. It feels very, very different. So I want to send as much energy as I can, not just to this one, but for any effects that might show up after this one, and for the next several days too, because I don't know, it just feels really wonky. We have some pretty crazy, astrology, planetary placements right now, and they are very frightening, and they do show that things could happen. And I do believe in Joni Patri. She's one that I watch very closely, and this is, again, it's Vedic astrology, so the placements are a little different than Western, but I believe in them, and I believe in her, and she's been having her eye on this time frame for a while.
Yeah, so we see, the center point of this. I was just looking, and let's see if I could find it over on this computer to try to get info. There is somebody that's reporting water levels have dropped significantly in the last 30 minutes near Raspberry Island, Alaska. That's exactly what you don't want to see. So, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. There we go. This is the post I was looking for there. It could be, if that is the case, that's exactly what you don't want to see.
No, and at the end here, we are going to do some energy and send prayers and blessings that way, that everyone's guides and angels are definitely very, very active in case it is something major. But it is good to see so many in the chat. You guys are alive and awake, and you guys know what's going on. You know what time it is, and you know that this could be the thing that we've all been preparing for a very long time.
Well, as I've shared with Cindy in like our discussions, and I know I've shared it over many, many different videos. Before Cascadia or the San Andreas was to go, you would definitely expect something big in Alaska. It's just the way that this guy, Dutch Sense, has taught us to look for the flow of the energy. So, that's the way the energy typically flows. And so, if there was to be something large over there in Cascadia or in San Andreas, I would expect to see this first. Now, it's interesting the way the energy works, because, in some ways, it might end up affecting something the other direction over in Japan. As, again, what did we have? We had a prophecy from that Ryo Tatsuki, the manga artist in Japan, of a mega quake that she was expecting or had seen many years ago. That would be somewhere in the vicinity of a 9 or a 9.5. Okay, so here we go. 19 minutes ago, officials say a tsunami has been confirmed. They're just evacuating people to higher ground. And, I wonder if there's... It's a good question in my mind. I wonder if there's any live cams of anywhere close to this. Probably not. Alaskan live cams, I don't think that's going to be there, but I'll take a look.
Greg, thank you so much for your support, and that definitely goes toward the energy and the prayers that we're going to be saying after this session. It definitely helps, and it helps us get the word out. And animals are now leaving Yellowstone, and that's right. Just did a video on that. Then there's that. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces that are getting put together. And Kruger says tsunami warning people already have been heading to higher ground, right? So
Yeah,
this is in motion.
Yeah, we don't really see any again buoys activated, but yeah, it doesn't.
They should be
Seems like they should be, which makes me kind of concerned. Yeah, I mean they've activated for nothing in the past. We've seen some in event mode that have made people really nervous, but all I'm seeing is 4-foot waves, according to what this is showing. Don't see anything activated there. Let's look. Okay, more aftershocks coming in. So, the latest one was a 3.8, and then we have 4.1, 3.5, 3.7, 4.2, and the original 7.3. Again, some sources saying 7.6. Yeah, definitely a curious situation, to say the least. Again, prayers and best wishes for everyone. There's so much going on right now. It's just crazy. Here you can see this is probably somebody's cam that's going to catch the shaking in the house. Oh, yeah. Wow. Holy cow. Whoa. That would definitely wake you up. Man, it's just crazy times, but on the whole, there's a lot going on many different levels.
There's a lot. I'm going to do a nice little cleansing in the area because that will help with our energy. It's going to move the energy to where it needs to be. So please keep those prayers going towards those that need it, those people and animals, and wake up the other energetic forces that are protective by their very nature. So it's great to see so many people, Morvet, Anna, STX, Jumper. Great to see you guys. And KK has an eagle circling. Yes, that is beautiful. That's definitely telling you something. Hey, Grizzly. Yeah, and how about the white sagebrush fire in the Grand Canyon? Then there's that too. A lot going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I'm going to just cover a couple more things that I wanted to talk about. This is potentially a very huge event. And also, obviously, there's not a massive population. As long as this is not a very large tsunami that's going out there, there's not a lot of people in Alaska. But then again, you're talking about 4 hours to Southern California from there if there was a tsunami. Now, chances are it probably wouldn't be that big of a tsunami, but you always got to err on the side of caution. And how many crazy things have we seen weather-wise in recent times? Too many to count. It's just kind of been so crazy out there. So yeah, this is a big one. This is again one of the most busiest spots on the planet for quakes. And again, no buoys showing in event mode, although absolutely there seems to be most definitely warnings about the potential for tsunami, and even some saying tsunami confirmed. But again, it could be tsunami confirmed, but it's 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. We've seen that before. Just was wondering, a lot of heliplots seem to be offline. To see, it's interesting. You get a gauge. Here's Thailand. That's pretty crazy. Could be local, obviously, local quakes. This is Alaska right here. You can see a blackout in that area. Here's Corvallis, Oregon. The Philippines popping up. This is all the way over in Guam. So, yeah, this was definitely a quake that was felt around the world. Significant, absolutely. Here you see Russia. More in Russia. Hawaii. And some unusual patterns in South America. And this is Baja California Sur. Yes, Russia. It's just, wow, we have a lot to pay attention to. You got a massive tornado here in Wisconsin. This is Sauk City, Wisconsin, as the tornado goes and takes out trees and homes. Again, we've had just so many tornadoes and floods. It never stops. We have a low pressure area in Vest 93L located near the coast of the Florida Panhandle. Forecast to move westward to near the southeast coast of Louisiana. On Thursday, environmental conditions are generally favorable for some development. Tropical depression could form over the next day or two before the system moves fully inland. By the end of the week, regardless of the development, heavy rainfall and flooding is possible along portions of the northern Gulf Coast, including Louisiana, during the next couple of days. The flooding situation has more people talking about mud flood than I've ever seen before. And, you just look at some of the headlines. Again, 12 injured, 1 lost after severe flooding in Mexico. 1 month's worth of rain in 2 hours, floods roads and tunnels in Moscow. You got floods creating sinkholes, submerging roads in central North Carolina. And then we got new volcanic eruptions ongoing as well. This one over here, this is up in Iceland. Something's going on with the planet. Something's going on with consciousness. Actually, something's going on in your body and in your energy field as well.
It is. It's very, very busy, and we've really been doing our best to keep up, to try to reply to as many as possible. I do try to greet a lot of people when they come in, as they come in, and I think Kelly says you only reply. Well, I'm sorry if I missed one. Do apologize. We do our best to try to keep up, but it's great to see you here. It's great to see your support, and it's great to have you here with all the other people. We have had a full day of training and making videos for energy work training, and amongst other things too. So we do our best to kind of keep up.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep up with. There really is. It's impossible to keep up with everything and stay sane at the same time. But that's our challenge in these times. Oh yeah, these are challenging times. When you look to the geopolitical situation, there's obviously a lot of he said, she said. Why would you want to know when it comes to a certain person that is supposedly no longer with us? Last name begins with E, you guys know. And then, of course, 47, and then, all the apparent infighting geopolitically. In my mind, it's really all the, in some ways, the death throes of a system that's just become so obvious that this system, it's beyond salvaging in many ways, yet we have no choice but to try to make something better from within. A system that really has never been what it's been put out to be. But here you go, House just passed Resolution 580 to advance the crypto bills, including the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, and the anti-CBDC bill. A new monetary system is coming. Actually, maybe many new monetary systems are coming. When you look to Bitcoin, it's going through the roof. But the other side of that coin is it may be going through the roof in regards to the U.S. dollar, but so much of that is because the U.S. dollar is devaluating faster than ever. It's really devaluating very quickly, but that is also, in many ways, completely part of the bigger plan. As, again, we have all the tariffs in order to bring manufacturing back to the country, or at least that's what they say. Again, there's no good government on the planet. None. No government, in my mind, that we have had on the planet in my entire life has been worth it. I think we can do better. So, whether we're just pointing at the left or the right, whether, we're believing in one monetary system or another, we just have to recognize the climate, recognize your environment. And yeah, absolutely. Relatively speaking, Bitcoin, you guys are still there. Let's see. Can you guys still see?
Can you still see us?
And hear us?
going here. Okay, Jenny says yes. Okay, good.
Okay, cool.
It says disconnected, reconnecting, so we don't know. Okay.
Reconnection successful. Well, thank you. They don't like us covering certain topics. And again, you literally, in this world, we already are monitored by Big Brother all the time. Yeah, they don't like us talking about this. And what you're watching with the monetary system, it's all been planned maybe for hundreds of years. No, maybe longer. I mean, seriously. So, it's devaluation of the dollar that's partially, pushing this parabolically through the roof. Also, the M2 money supply, when you follow Bitcoin, you see it follows the M2. And that's basically how many dollars are in circulation. Again, it's really not rocket science, yet at the same time, they create the lingo around it, so you have to go to somebody that's a financial expert to understand anything. I think, again, the most dangerous thing in this world to the system is somebody that is thinking outside the box, really thinking for themselves, and not going to trust anything that we get from the system. So again, to me, none of the governments have been worthy of the people they're supposedly serving. Not one single government across this entire planet. It all needs to change. But the good news is it's going to, and it is. So that's part of the shift. And yes, they will definitely create dramatic situations and real scary events in order to take attention away from other things they don't want attention going to.
Right. We have Florida in the house. I saw we have Melbourne. We have all kind of people in the house. People are just pouring in. This is great. Please continue to send your energy over there so that people can get out of the way. And we have people in here with family members that are currently headed to higher ground. So they're getting the warning, and a lot of people are headed to higher ground. I don't like it when all of the buoys are just kind of quiet. Anytime anything is quiet, I get nervous. And maybe that's just, the mom in me. Whenever the kids are quiet, you just, there's something up.
What are they doing? Right? What are they up to?
I know, there's that.
So then, it makes us think, what's Noah up to? Are they hiding something, or is it nothing? Again, it's just one of these events on top of so many of these different events that we've been witnessing. It's been mind-blowing for an awful lot of people. I wonder how big this swarm will end up getting. Let's look just at the area. Okay, so we have 8, so we have 7 follow-ups. And the magnitudes are a little bit all over the place. We'll see. Hopefully it'll just die down and won't cause anything else to go. Again, there was interesting quake activity over by Mount Rainier. And then we have, there's volcanoes waking up over in Iceland. There's other volcanoes waking up in Alaska again. And we still have 31 quakes around Rainier in the last 24 hours. So, there's a lot of unusual things. But again, it's where we are in the bigger scheme of things, as here we are into the flood again. So 395 quakes close to Rainier in the last week. That's still going. And if we look at 30 days, 786. So 786 in the last 30, 394 in the last week. Yeah, I would still keep an eye on Rainier.
Yeah, there's that. And then Grizzly says, don't forget about that celestial object, heading towards us. There's always something, isn't there? There's always something. It just seems like we have a lot that's coming together right now. A lot of things coming together. Great to see so many people in the house. Please continue to send your blessings, whatever modality you use. Send those over there to those people so that they have help with their guides and angels and elementals. Everyone needs all the help that they can get right now to get those messages. Thank you so much, Paulo. Thank you. That goes toward the end of the energy work that we're going to do towards the end of shift. We're going to be saying some prayers and sending energy their way. Thank you so much.
When you think about it, how many substances have been found that are really detrimental to our health in everything that people have been eating for the last, 20, 30 years more? Here you go, a popular 0-calorie sweetener could impair blood vessel cells, so says a study. This is erythritol. Erythritol, can increase the risk of stroke. You remember aspartame, you remember all these different, sweeteners. Obviously, high fructose corn syrup. Now, 1 in 3 kids, not even adults yet, are pre-diabetic. Everything about our system is toxic. Everything about this system needs to be changed. This is, again, going back to that saying that I was saying earlier. There's no government worth its weight at all. There's no government worth its position anywhere on this planet. Certainly not in the BRICS nations, certainly not in the NATO nations. There might be some tiny little place out there that you haven't heard of that might be half decent, but it's really rare. It's because every bit of this world system has been corrupted from the start. And it really promotes people that are very, very corrupted to high positions. It's all about who can we bribe. They have lobbying. That's bribery. It's accepted, paid bribery. When you look at this, it's ridiculous. I was looking at an article and then listening to this one gentleman talking about how truly to get something approved through the FDA, if you have enough money, they'll just approve it ahead of time, and just take your word for it. This is just insanity. So, again, try to clean up and detox as much as possible. Try to eat things that only have one ingredient, or maybe 2, maybe 3. Put the ingredients together yourself. This is what we do all the time. Eat whole foods, real foods, as organic as possible, recognizing that there's nothing organic anywhere really that we have within our reach.
That can be really, really difficult, especially if you're one that doesn't cook. But if you don't cook, you can continue to get those whole foods in you. I eat a lot of avocado. Mike does all the cooking, but if it's in between, I'll eat avocado, I'll eat banana. I can eat organic raisins, certain nuts I can eat, but definitely I eat whole foods with, everything in between the meals that we cook. So it takes a minute. And there was one point in my life where I think it was for 2 years straight, I ate pistachios just because I didn't want to cook. I was thinking about making like a pamphlet for, people who don't like to cook, book to keep food in your stomach if you're trying to do better. There's a lot of things you can do. I know I've kept eggs boiled in the fridge, and I'll eat eggs. Cheese, I'll eat cheese. I'll eat the good kind of lunch meat that doesn't have the stuff in it, the pure lunch meat, or a cooked chicken, and I'll just eat chicken because I don't like to cook, but I do like to eat healthy. So it took me a minute to figure out how to do that and just make sure I'm eating one ingredient anytime I'm not eating a meal.
And she has me who loves to cook, and that's just, that really is the way I show affection. And so we had one of our dearest friends in the world over for lunch and also for energy work. And I always love cooking for her. She's a sweetheart and a half, and we adore her. And we adore you guys. And, it feels like it's going to be a wild ride. If you follow any of the channels that give you channeled material, again, mostly from, let's just say, ET origins, etc., you'll see there's a common thing going on right now where everybody's picking up that there's some massive events about to transpire. So again, the thing that we're implored to do is to develop, that Buddhist detachment, doesn't mean that we're not showing compassion. No, we put our compassion out there. The thing we don't want to show is fear. And we don't want to experience fear because, again, ultimately, we're all already eternal beings, unless maybe you're, something else, maybe a cyborg. But I don't think we have any cyborgs in the house. But cyborgs are real, and again, clones are real. People are realizing there's a reason why there's 7 John Fettermans. And by the way, there was 6 or 7 HRCs and Mr. B too. Some actors in masks, but some, maybe not quite actors in masks. Maybe these were actually clones. Again, the technology's there. There's no reason for us to have 0-calorie sweeteners that are going to interfere with the blood vessels in your brain. And we've had those that also lead towards the big C. This is, again, exposing the system making profit, in my mind, in my opinion. This is just for information's sake, to do with it what you will. It just seems that, obviously, if you have a lot of money invested in certain industries that are supposed to be geared towards making people healthy, and you have a lot of money invested in it, you might want to see, return customers. Mm-hmm. And why do we have all these dyes in these different things? And we have all these natural flavors. What exactly are those natural flavors? You may not want to know. You just may want to avoid them.
I know, yes, Isabel. He is a great cook, and he does cook for me. He's so good to me. He treats me like a queen, and he's my king, and we do all that in this house, and I'm so grateful to have him. So every time we have a meal in this house, you just put the words world famous in front of it. So for example, today we had Mexican, but it wasn't just any Mexican. It was world famous Mexican. Or we have world famous pizza, which I hope to share with the world someday. We have world famous spaghetti. We have, it's just world famous, and he's the best cook. And he puts his energy in his food. I was thinking maybe someday, since Mike does transfer his energy into food, we should be making spices, so to sell people, and put our pranic healing energy in that. Because you can totally taste the difference between somebody who loves to cook and they love who they're cooking for, and they put all that energy in there. Doesn't the meal just tastes better? It's so good. In fact, I won't even go out to eat at a restaurant anymore. He has me that spoiled.
Christine, what feels better than that? Going out and picking your salad for yourself. And, while that's a wonderful thing, this is what you don't do when you have a tsunami warning, and you don't go walking on the beach because the water is receding. Oh, God. Don't do it. This is part of the craziness of this world.
Oh my gosh, it is. And then we have this emergency alerts coming out. So we really need people to keep an eye on each other. Sometimes you might see someone who might be lost and confused. That person could be in shock. So keep that in mind, as sometimes people get triggered and they get so scared they can't even function. They can't even think to know what to do next.
Yes. So, here we go. Let's send out our energy. And as we look back over here, you want to send it out to the entirety of, let me just switch this to the one day, entirety of everybody on the world if you want, or if you want to just focus on the potential quake and tsunami potential. The Ring of Fire, the last time we were live, we were talking about the Ring of Fire waking up. Yeah, this is right there. This is waking up. Let's look. Let's just take a look. 30 days significant. So when you look at that, this is the biggest one in the last 30 days that was significant. Here we see a 6.3, a 6.6, and a Scotia C. Whenever I look down here, this just fascinates me. It really, really does. Because what's really over there in Antarctica? Again, so many great channels out there. It just feels so good to see so much real questioning questioning everything happening on so many different levels right now.
It is. It is nice. It's nice to see people awakening to a point where I don't think there's any undoing it, actually.
No, I agree. There's no undoing this. There's no undoing it. Hey, how about this? Musical training may hold the key to fighting age-related brain decline. So, yeah, this is wonderful for keeping your brain circuitry going. I love it. I'm a lousy musician. I'm not really a musician at all. I'm a putter. I like to putt around on guitar, and I like to try to create something that takes me away, and honestly, I just found a really good band that out of the blue that, it just seems maybe it's part of getting older when you think that music was better back in my day, like back in the 80s and even the 70s. It was just better. But, I would say it's better when it's done by humans. I think, again, one of the revolutions that's going on right now, the AI revolution, and Cindy just told me this morning, I couldn't agree anymore. She said it's going to bring about a counter revolution. And it's going to be made by humans, produced by humans only. And that's going to be way more valuable than anything AI.
It'll be worth more. So that's going to become a thing, a human made. No AI used in this project. That's going to become a big thing. And yeah, I definitely want to do some prayers here at the very end and send all of this energy over to those who need it. But I am glad we are in a place now where there's no rolling backwards. So enough people are awake. I think we have a lot of people awake where it's not going to be too easy to go back to sleep.
So, again, I didn't take the guitar to be something I was going to get into until I was like 50, so I've only been doing it for like maybe 10 years. I want to say something like that, maybe a little bit more. It was kind of a bucket list thing, but it's great. So a study finds older musicians show youth-like brain patterns while understanding speech in noisy settings. Youth-like brain patterns. That is a key thing. Now, my brain is a little bit weird, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, Mike is having weird patterns lately, and we got that on a machine, so it's very strange. But just when I was learning about sound healing, I learned about entropy and centropy. And when we're on this planet and we're just sort of sitting and doing, our cells are in a state of entropy. They are falling apart. They're coming apart. So what we need to do is bring them centropy. And guess what brings centropy? Sound, music. You know how you literally feel uplifted when you're listening to some of your favorite music? And why sound healing is so extremely effective when you have good healers behind the sound. That's why. It's because your cells are literally coming back together.
So again, this study is showing that it's a form of muscle building for your brain, you could say. It creates this neural upregulation. Basically, the brain recruits extra resources to make up for declining function as we age. So you got to use it. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. I think too many people just, they just put on the boob tube or however you want to view it. You just watch TikTok all day and not really learning, not really exploring, not working with the hands and the eyes and our senses. We were given these bodies. These bodies are avatars. Keep them going. You don't have to decline as fast as they tell you. Oh no, we could still be living strong, vibrant lives well into our 80s. I think that most of us could make it to 120 if it wasn't for such a toxic system out there. So this realization that the system is toxic and that needs to change. Oh, that's everything, guys. That's everything. And we're not going to accept it. We're not going to accept what they give us. Oh, no, we want better.
Yes, and we're going to have better, too. So there's that. But it's taken a lot to get there. And now we're in a place where we don't we know not to stay in a state of fear, but we also know now to stay prepared, be ready for something, be ready for anything, but that's really the only thing you can do. So outside of preparation, you have to live your life, don't let yourself stay in a state of stress.
No, absolutely not. And recognize not everybody is as awake as you. That's just part of the reality on the planet. There are a lot of younger souls that need, the starseed light workers to help them understand things. And that's part of what we're here doing. We're just trying to, again, share what we have experienced and know. Here is footage of the exact moment that it hit. Doesn't seem like much at the moment there. There, I'll take the sound away. Then there you go. Ooh. Well, that is disconcerting for sure. Now, this one is, hopefully hyping up something that we haven't seen yet. Just saying a possible large tsunami. We haven't seen that yet. Let's see what we have here.
My first time back in Alaska in 25 years. We're in Seward. We have a tsunami warning. 7.2 earthquake.
Man, it's scary. So again, prayers to everybody out there. Let's see what we have. Is anything showing on the buoys? Rightly, if anything ever does manifest from this, and there's no active buoys, again, you got to say, what good is any of the money that they take from us when it comes, again, to protecting humanity, protecting the citizens? You forcefully at gunpoint really take the taxes from us when you're down to it. Literally, the IRS is armed. They are armed. And, what do we get for that? Not a hell of a lot is the bottom line. Not a lot. Let's look at the aftershocks here. So we're up to a dozen, and this one was bigger. 4.4 was the newest. 4.2 after that. That's increasing. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Isabel says half the buoys are disconnected. I mean, it feels funny. It definitely feels funny. Something feels off, and I would imagine, knowing this system, they were probably disconnected some time ago. So no surprises there, but it sure explains a lot. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know how to vet that really, but it does make sense to me. And you have to ask yourself, is that something that this system would do? Would they actually do something like that? Yes, they keep doing it. They keep playing the same old game, and it's like we have to get smart and we have to understand what they're going to do ahead of time so we can get ahead of that. So, oh yeah, Emily, hi. Yeah, we lost connection earlier. It always happens, and then they do the worst things, and they put in a million and one commercials during the lives too. But we appreciate you guys really hanging in there, and for everyone who's donated, we appreciate everyone who's given a thumbs up, and even commenting in the live is very, very helpful for the algorithms. All the action is very helpful, you guys. We need every bit of help we get, because this channel, we are so shadow banned. It's really horrible. But we do our best to keep going for you.
Absolutely. This is our intent and purpose, is to shift the timelines to a positive, more positive timeline. How do you do that? By awakening people to what's really going on. So, again, I wouldn't accept anything that I'm blindly told. No, nothing from anybody. But I could see where, absolutely, using your mind and your creativity and using this physical avatar that we're given, and we literally create our body ourselves in the etheric. Again, we do a lot when it comes to teaching. We energy work and meditation and Qigong, etc. Diet, nutrition. This is all. We are rehab specialists. That is what the guides have called us. And I could think of nothing better than picking up a musical instrument in order to, again, add a little more color and spice to our lives. These lives are meant to be enjoyed. We're not meant to just simply go to work every day to make more money for the system. Again, these corporations, the root word of corporation is the same as corpse. Yes, a dead, soulless entity that sucks, the blood away from us. But at the same time, within these corporations are ensouled beings with the true creator of the universe inside them. Because again, the creator of the universe is within all of us. Otherwise, it wouldn't be, because we can't even call it male or female. It's beyond gender. Again, when you start to limit it, then you're missing the bigger picture and the bigger point. Humanity has been blinded by dogma that divides us. And, again, it's time to get over that, to realize true spirituality, there doesn't have to be any dogma involved. It's just simply recognizing that everything in this, our experience, is basically being reflected in many other dimensions and densities. So I do always keep an eye out for the greater Charleston area. Again, back in, I want to say 1870s, there was a about the same, about 7.3, and it liquefied, the soil down in this area caused a lot of damage. So, that's one I watch, because I do expect, like, when we have the big ones come, I've always felt that it'll be like bing, bang, boom, and then exits. By the way, when you think about the two eclipses that cross, and actually there was a third eclipse that turns it into a Hebrew Aleph. You had that 2017 eclipse, which basically spanned from right here out Oregon, and then you had the 2024 one, which went in this direction. Again, they intersect over the New Madrid. Everything has kind of been scripted, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of the floods hit too. So it's very, very strange. Very strange. So we have a lot going on. I do want to say a special thanks to Israel. He's been very supportive, and Mary D, Susan, Paulo, I know Chris P. You guys just really want to say a huge thank you. You guys have allowed us to do this and then keep going.
Absolutely. I think when we always operate from the standpoint of, asking ourselves, is everything I'm doing every day geared towards making this world a better place? Am I actually putting out the energy, the effort, the time, the will to do my part in making the world a better place? When we do that, we create this positive karmic flow. And you also are coming in alignment with, again, the higher energies, the benevolent beings, whether we view them as angels or what have you, devas. Again, there are many, many benevolent beings around us all the time, watching every little thing we do. Ask them for help. Just put it straight out there. That you will accept help from your personal guides, angels, benevolent beings that want to help you become the best version of yourself.
Isn't that the most important thing? I mean, it can be just as simple as that. At the end of every day, what did I do to add happiness to this planet? What did I do to better myself? What did I do to make somebody happy. Just adding a little bit of goodness every day is something that will snowball over time.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We are so dedicated to trying to shift again the energies in this world in a positive direction. So if you have not yet come and checked out Patreon, we invite you to. Again, there's different collections, which there are collections on all the channels. Evolutionary Energy Arts started in August of 2017, right around the eclipse. That triggered me. It triggered me, and it told me, okay, it's time to go from being more of a hands-on healer, guide, and teacher to expanding outwards, because we're hitting the big time. The big time. This is the big time. Yeah, absolutely. It's time to shift things into a positive direction. Please do check out the Superhuman Potential series. I feel very, very good about that. It's all basic knowledge for understanding what we can achieve, because we are so much more than you may have thought. I mean, maybe not the case. I know with all you beautiful people that are in there in the chat room, you guys get the bigger picture, and we just got to help others understand this too. We absolutely don't have to accept things that are less than ideal on the planet, and we could let the system know that if it's not delivering what it promises, then it needs to go bye-bye, and it's way overdue. Again, peaceful revolution in mind, a revolution in spirit and in heart, in a positive direction, starting to understand more of the oneness of all things. We've used that analogy so many times. Each one of us is a cell in the body of Earth. And yet, at the same time, unfortunately, this world system has us acting as a toxin, a cancer, a plague, a virus. Yeah, no, we need to correct that. And we correct it one person at a time. And we do, as Rick says, we demand positive change. We're not going to buy it. We're not going to accept it. Again, the system likes to just point fingers at itself, really, to try to get you more mad at this one, but that one wants to get you more mad at that one. It reminds me of that song, where what's that song? Sha-na-na, hey, goodbye to all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Miss Elizabeth, having to take that stuff just so you can eat. Try switching to marshmallow root, because I was there too, and I went from the Pepto to the marshmallow root, and also aloe can be very, very helpful. Aloe is super, super great for stomach problems and healing the stomach lining and helping your digestion. So I do hope that gets better. You can take slippery elm too.
And this is not medical advice. We are not doctors.
No, not medical advice. We're not doctors. We just been through a lot.
Just saying what has worked for us and many of the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that we've worked with over the years. Yes, absolutely, Isabel. Change starts with the man in the mirror. Yes, or the woman, again. and we really don't need to go beyond that. The beautiful embodied eternal soul that is shining their light within each one of you.
You guys are wonderful and terrific. Are we going to do a ding?
Yes, and Cindy's going to do a ding. And I want to give you again, Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may my acts, words, and deeds all contribute to their happiness and their freedom.
So I have a little bit of a vision. I want you guys to please ground. I'm going to ground you where you're at, and you can ground yourself too. The purpose in grounding is this is going to help any other earthquakes that might be in our future. It's going to help the earth. It's going to help her stand solid in anything she has to do by you grounding yourself. So we're going to do 3 dings. Think happy thoughts. Think of all the people, having their guides and angels right with them in any moment of need. So 3 dings. Here we go. Okay, you guys, hang in there. Be good to each other and yourself.
Yes, we love you guys, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I think we're going to be on with Wayne tomorrow.
Yay.
So I believe we'll be live on Wayne's channel tomorrow
12
at 12 Central.
Yep.